Previously on the Winter's Rev arc.
Normally as a journalist, I've been taking notes, but my hands will get cold, and as it is hard to wear it in winter gloves. Make sure your heaters and fireplaces are operational, and we'll keep you posted with more updates.
What do I need to go to the steamworks for?
Please tell me you will stay until your safety valve is in place.
Streamline shells should be able to plow through the snow. Your objective is to save the stranded diesels, get their jobs done, and get them to the diesel works.
I don't believe he wants to stay there for the season, especially what he witnessed.
How do you mean?
Get out of here!
After the first ice storm, the engines worked as hard as they could, clearing up the snow. It was tiring work, especially for Gordon, who was keeping his streamlined suit on until spring. He was sitting at Elsbridge picking up passengers when Percy pulled in by the water tower.
Phew! I'm exhausted. I need a drink.
Fat chunks of that. Some of the water tower's caps are frozen shut. Even if they were to open, the water towers would more likely act as ice dispensers.
Bother! I've only got a quarter of a tank left.
Well, why don't you have your crew gather some snow and put it in your boiler? Then the snow will melt into water for you to make steam.
That's easy for you to say. You've got a smaller water tank and don't need much snow, while mine's bigger and requires more. Gordon, is there something wrong?
Well, I've been thinking about what Bear told me about Diesel's troubled history, especially in 2003.
Oh, I think I remember that too.
Remember what?
Well, it was during the time when Sir Stephen Topham had decided to have Diesel as the resident here. Mind if I tell him, Gordon?
Well, if you're going to tell Toby, just try not to spread the story. Bear did say Diesel may not like his history shared. Oops, that's my whistle. I'm off to the waterworks in Great Waterton. Wish me luck.
After Gordon's departure, Percy told Toby about Diesel's troubled origins. 1952 and 1962 was a decade of where a certain class of diesel shunter was built. The British Railways 08 class.
A new playmate! Isn't this exciting?
This is highly exciting. Will multiply like cells on a human body.
Well, I'll be 996 of you lot. Now then, side with the past behind us and look to the future. Soon, there will be all diesel shunters around British rails, and you are to go to the yards and improve them. You are all revolutionary.
Yes, revolutionary indeed.
Diesel, you are going to be on Charles Sodor.
Sodor, you say? Well, Diesel, might as well keep this island up to date.
Oh, you're going to have so much fun. Good luck.
The year was 1958 when Diesel first arrived on Sodor. He was put on trial by Sir Charles Topham Hatt and ordered Duck to show him the ropes. While the other engines were impressed, Duck was having his doubts. After Diesel gloated about being revolutionary, Duck ordered him to arrange some trucks, unaware that the trucks were in old, abandoned, bad condition. The rest of the rolling stock thought of it as a great joke and sang songs about it, much to Diesel's fury. So Diesel decided to pay Duck out by framing him and making the bigger engines think he was telling whoppers about them. This resulted in Duck being sent to Edward's branch line. Eventually, Diesel's triumph would have a short run, for Sir Charles Topham Hatt eventually found out the truth and sent Diesel packing back to Doncaster.
Diesel? What happened out there?
Diesel didn't want to tell his siblings what he did, so he lied. I accidentally disarranged some trucks. Yes.
That's no fun. It's okay, though.
Say, weren't there a little more of us?
They left.
Oh yeah, about 5 of us were exported to Liberia.
It was always so sad to see the kids go.
Yeah, they grow up so fast.
For the next 3 decades, Diesel stayed on the mainland shunting rolling stock. And one of his favorites was vacating the older rolling stock with an incinerator tunnel. Rolling stock goes in on one side and pops out the other, feeling crisp and burnt. Diesel was about to fetch another passenger coach when the manager walked up and informed him that Sir Stephen Topham Hatt, the Northwestern Railway's controller at this time, needed another engine to help with the shunting at the North Knapford Harbor with Percy and Duck. They were both exhausted from all the extra work. Diesel arrived at the harbor, much to Duck's surprise, and wanted to go on strike along with Percy, but their strike would soon come to a close by Sir Stephen Topham Hatt. But even with the strike over and the extra load still coming in, Diesel was still up to his bad antics until it would be taken too far when he accidentally shunted trucks of clay into the sea. After the accident, Diesel got the boot a second time.
The rules are so simple.
And the rules and regulations just got a little more simpler. We multiple units and high-speed train sets don't need you to arrange our coaches. Now then, I'm off to find Pip. Ta-ta!
How dare you disobey me!
Hate you! Oi, Diesel! Have you heard the rumours? People are saying that we're not needed to shunt coaches anymore. The manager says that a new type of passenger train called these multiple units are being built. By this time, we have entered the 21st century. Diesel and a few others got demoted to shunting wagons. On one of these days in 2000, he saw a couple of his brothers gloating about being movie stars on Sodor. Diesel thought about giving Sodor at least one more try, and sure enough, in 2002, after Henry's derailment, he was brought to Sodor once again to help out. But when the truck started teasing Diesel's strength compared to Henry's, that was when he decided to try to be the world's strongest engine, lining up 20 trucks and made an attempt to move them unbeknownst with the fact that one of the truck's brakes were on, resulting him to get into a derailment of trouble and was kicked out of Sodor for a 3rd time. Well, so much for 3rd time's the charm. He decided to stay in the mainland for the rest of his life. But one early morning in 2003, there will be an unveiling of a morbid truth. Diesel! 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 Bloody heck, wake up! Carrie? What's wrong? We're in trouble, Diesel. This kind of monstrosity, I thought it was for just steam engines, but it's for all engines. You have to say this. Gary took Diesel to the coach incinerating building. The sight was terrible. Diesel's siblings were being scrapped.
What have you done?
Sorry, Ozzy, but it's a new century, a new era of locomotives. Why borrow with shunter arranging when you have multiple units? It's time to die, Ozzy, and live again as something new. Into the incinerator she goes.
You can't do this to me!
Diesel's face went pale and his oil ran cold. Diesel, for your own safety, you need to leave. Now!
Who's there?
Go! And don't look back! Diesel raced through the dark and over a bridge, that being Vickerstown Bridge. He was now back on Sodor, sitting in the Vickerstown shunting yards, sobbing quietly.
We were supposed to change the world.
By that time, I was a shunter at Vickerstown, and I saw him at the sheds. Diesel, what are you doing here? I thought you were sent home after that silly strength test at the harbour. Now you better leave, or Sir Topham Hatt will see you.
I'm not going back! I refuse to go back! Not after what happened back at my old home. Percy felt a little empathy for Diesel. He then fetched Sir Stephen Topham Hatt to sort out the situation. After hearing what Diesel went through this morning, he decided to give Diesel one final fair chance. Diesel was assigned to be a station pilot at Vickerstown, and he did so without fuss or trouble. Because of this behavior and success, Sir Stephen Topham Hatt has officially purchased Diesel to work on his railway. And even after that one trick Diesel played on Fergus, instead of sending him away to the mainland, he was sent to the scrapyard to work with his brothers, Airy and Bert. Diesel hated this punishment, but was glad to be co-working with his siblings.
We're really sorry you have to see the truth of us aging Diesels. We recently felt the same way before moving here in 1998. But it's okay. You're safe here. You can be you here.
That's very reassuring indeed. Thank you, boys. Even if Diesel dropped the ball numerous times of trying to be good, he was still very thankful to be working on a railway he calls home.
So that's how Diesel came around to be a permanent resident to Sodor.
Yes. Toby, this may sound silly, but with the New Year's coming, do you really actually believe that Diesel would change?
I don't know, Percy. It could be a 50-50. Come on, let's head back home. The Topham Hatt's going to close the railway for a short while on the New Year's holiday.